Hi, my name is Barbara Ross, and I wanted to talk about the Time's Up disaster relief rides that we did in the Rockaways. So I volunteer for a group called Time's Up, and one of the things we advocate for is cycling. And another aspect is using bicycles for transportation. And we actually started probably the day after the storm, using bicycles for purposes to help with the disaster relief efforts after the storm. And the first thing we did was we had someone go out and scout the areas to see who was most in danger, who needed the help the most. And one of the persons who went said that when they went to the Rockaways, they realized that that was a place that people couldn't get to because the cars, there was no way to get there by car, and the few cars that could get in, there was so much traffic that it was really hard to get the relief supplies that they needed, basic for kids, diapers, food, just the essentials just to survive. And we thought, well, that seems like the best way that we could help is by bringing the bikes loaded with trailers. We had a bunch of trailers, bike trailers. So we went to the hub that they set up, Occupy Sandy. They set up a hub in Brooklyn, I believe it was on Clinton Street. And when I got there, I got so emotional because you go there and there was so many people volunteering. It was bustling and they were so organized. They knew we were coming, so they loaded up all our trailers. There was probably maybe about 20 or 30 of us, and people had either big trailers or they just had their little basket or they had a big knapsack, and we loaded up tons of supplies, I mean a huge amount. And then we biked out to the Rockaways, and then we went over the bridge, and because you couldn't even get there by subway at that point. And we went to the next hub station in the Rockaways, and again, we gave them all the supplies, and then they loaded us back with supplies and went to different houses. We went to people's houses and dropped it off at certain points all around the Rockaways. And the people there in the Rockaways were so thankful. They were, you know, you wake up at, you know, pretty early and you're biking, you know, 20 miles and you get there and you don't know what your response is going to be. And we were biking by and they were all like waving and cheering us, and it was just really, it felt really good. And what we really wanted to focus on was we wanted to have a model to show people what they could do to prevent more storms. And so that's why we used bikes, because we felt that the storm, you know, the increase in storms was to do with, you know, the pollution in the car, the fossil fuel that's used for driving. So it was not only that we were able to help the people, we were also able to be part of the solution with the bikes. And we also brought the energy bikes, that another project that we work on where you have human-powered bicycles. And we brought them also out to the Rockaways, and people were able to charge their phones. And you know, they were so like, oh, this is fantastic, because there wasn't enough charging stations there. And those charging stations were being run by gas. So these were run by pedaling. We had bike repair because a lot of the residents were using bikes to get around as well. So we had bike repair. And we ended up going for probably, just estimate, probably we went for a couple of months until we felt that we were probably needed in other ways. At that point, they needed more construction, and people also did actually, that was one of the things they did, was also demolition work, where they went in and just helped people clean their houses. The hard part was when we went there a little bit later on, and for a rally that they had to let people know that the fact that the media had stopped covering them, that they were still hurting, that they were still, you know, it was cold, they didn't have heat, a lot of them didn't have heat, a lot of them were still suffering. So I went to a rally to get people aware that please don't forget us. And and I felt that kind of was kind of a sad ending to it, because I feel like I still think about those people in the Rockaways, and I just hope that people will, won't forget them. And the city is having a city council hearing today, and it's to do with an emergency plan for other disasters. And we had some testimony. We had testimony. We put in some testimony to say that bicycling needs to be put into the plan. I just hope that people will see it as a wake-up call, that that we don't want this to keep happening, and that also to see the good side of people, for all the people that volunteered, to all the people that came out and braved the cold and got there any way they could. So I think about that as well.